Now, I'm going to report short-run costs. Short-run cost. Short-run cost is the cost which has short-term implications in the production process. These are used over a short range of output. Thus, all the costs incurred on the variable factors such as labor and raw materials constitutes the short-run cost. The short run is a period of time for which two conditions hold. First, the firm is operating under a fixed scale, fixed factor of production, and number two, firms can neither enter nor exit an industry. In the short run, all firms have costs that they must bear regardless of their output. This kind of costs are called fixed costs. What is fixed cost? Fixed cost is any cost that does not depend on the firm's level of output. These costs are incurred even if the firm is producing nothing. The second one is variable cost. Variable cost is a cost that depends on the level of production chosen. Ini na depende kung bagan ang variable cost is na depende la siya kung nano ang levels and production na mao ang ginpili. So here's the formula. Total cost is equals to total fixed cost plus total variable cost. Fixed costs. Firms have no control over fixed cost in the short run. For this reason, fixed costs are sometimes called sunk costs. So what is sunk costs? Sunk cost is a cost that has already been incurred and that cannot be recovered. May mga bagay na makuri na maka-recover. Parehas sa mga raw materials, paying of wages, and etc. Average fixed cost or AFC is the total fixed cost AFC divided by the number of units of output, which is the word Q. So average fixed cost is equals to total fixed cost over number of units of output. The example of fixed costs are rental lease or mortgage payments, salaries, insurance payments, property taxes, interest expenses, depreciation, and some utilities. Variable costs. The total variable cost curve is a graph that shows the relationship between total variable cost and the level of a firm's output. So here's the example graph. As you can see, the total variable cost is derived from the production requirements and the input. So the total variable cost is currently increasing. Here's the common example of variable costs are cost of goods sold, raw materials and inputs to production, packaging, wages and commissions, and certain utilities, for example, electricity or gas that increases with production capacity. So what is marginal cost? Marginal cost or MC is the increase in total cost that results from producing one more unit of output, given other things constant. Marginal cost reflects changes in variable costs. Here's the formula of marginal cost. Marginal cost is equals to change in total cost over change in quantity. So MC means marginal cost, delta C is equals to change in cost, delta Q is equals to change in quantity. Example of marginal cost. The marginal cost of production includes all of the costs that vary with the level of production. For example, if a company needs to build an entirely new factory in order to produce more goods, the cost of building the factory is a marginal cost. This is the shape of the marginal cost curve in the short run. The fact that in the short run every firm is constrained by some fixed input means that the firm faces diminishing returns to variable inputs and the firm has limited capacity to produce output. As a firm, as a firm approaches that capacity, it becomes increasingly costly to produce successively higher levels of output. So, marginal cost ultimately increase with output in the short run. As you can see, marginal cost in units of output is currently increasing. But in the other hand, cost per units of labor is currently decreasing. Average variable cost Average variable cost or AVC is the total variable cost divided by the number of units of output. Marginal cost is the cost of one additional unit. Average variable cost is the average variable cost per unit of all the units being produced. Average variable cost follows marginal cost but lags behind. Adding TFC to TVC means adding the same amount of total fixed cost to every level of total variable cost. TFC, total fixed cost; TVC, total variable cost. So as you can see, the total cost curve has the same shape, parehas sila shape. As the total variable cost curve, it is simply higher by an amount equal to TFC. Mas dako gutian total variable cost. Mas dako gutian total variable cost sa total fixed cost. So here's the formula. Total cost is equals to total fixed cost plus total variable cost. Average total cost. At the graph, average total cost or ATC is total cost divided by the number of units of output. Example, average total cost is equals to average fixed cost plus average variable cost. Average total cost is equals to total cost over number of units of output is equals to total fixed cost over number of units of output plus total variable cost over number of units of output. Because average fixed cost falls with output and ever declining amount is added to AVC. Because that could be all. Thanks.